Hello to all my crochet friends. So in today's tutorial we're going to learn how to make a water bottle cover or a bottle holder for this glass water bottle. You can use it for any bottle you have. We're going to be using t-shirt yarn. I just felt like it was more sturdy. I'm going to be using a 4.5 millimeter hook, but you can use a hook that suits the width of yarn that you're using. My t-shirt yarn is 2 millimeters wide, and I felt like thinner yarn was more suitable for this project, so it can be more flexible while working and give it better dimensions. Starting off with the base, I'm going to make a magic circle, so hold the shorter end of the yarn like this and wrap the longer end around your two fingers, creating an X mark. Now insert your hook below the yarn and pull through. Now you're going to make one chain just to secure the circle, but this is not considered a crochet. You will not count it as a stitch. Now go inside the circle and make one single crochet. We're gonna need 6 single crochets inside the magic circle. As you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 single crochets in my circle. Now I'm going to close the circle with a slip stitch. I like to keep the extra yarn above my hook so I can just take it in with me while I work, so I don't have to weave the ends at the end, but you can do whatever makes you more comfortable. Now to start the second row, make one single crochet, and we will be doing that at the beginning of every row. Now you can use a stitch marker if it makes you more comfortable while working to mark the beginning of each row. I don't usually use it, but I'm going to use it this time for clarification. We're going to make the first single crochet in the same stitch that we made our slip stitch. So chain 1, and then we can put our stitch marker there to mark the beginning of our row. Now we're going to do 6 increases, so 2 single crochets in each stitch, which means we're gonna have 12 single crochets at the end of our round. Count your stitches at the end of each round to make sure you're not missing any. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. These are 12 single crochets. I'm going to remove the stitch marker and slip stitch at the end of my round. Just like the previous one, we're going to chain 1 to start the new round. Now we're going to make one single crochet and then an increase in the stitch after it. So one single crochet, increase, one single crochet, increase till the end of the round. This is going to leave us with 18 single crochets at the end of the round. So here are 2 single crochets in the second stitch, 1 single crochet in the stitch after, and then again 2 single crochets in the stitch after that. As usual, count your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. 18 stitches for our third round. Remove the stitch marker and slip stitch in the first stitch of this round. Now before I close this round, I'm going to see if I have enough rounds to cover the base of my bottle. I think this is enough for me. You can do extra rounds or less rounds depending on the size of the base of your water bottle. This time, because we're gonna move on onto the body, we're going to slip stitch only the back loop. So you have 2 loops on your hook. We're not gonna use both. We're only gonna go through the back loop and slip stitch through that. So to begin with the body, I'm going to chain 4, The first 3 stitches are gonna count as our first double crochet, and the 4th stitch is going to count as the single crochet that we're gonna be making in between the double crochets. We're gonna skip the next stitch and double crochet in the stitch after, chain 1, skip another stitch and double crochet in the stitch after. We are only working in the back loops of this round. Again, skip 1 stitch and double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch, chain 1 and skip 1 stitch and double crochet in the back loop of the stitch after that. We're gonna do that until we reach the end of this round, and all the other rounds are going to be basically the same. At the end of the round, we're going to reach the 4 chains we crocheted in the beginning. We're going to insert our hook into the 3rd chain from the base. So count 3 from down till up and go insert your hook inside the 3rd one and slip stitch there to begin our next round. As before, chain 4, and now we're just going to skip the empty spaces in between the double crochets and insert our hook into the back of the double crochet. So I'm going to show you more clearly where you should be inserting your hook. You see, the double crochet has a front side and a back side. The back side is only 1 loop, so you should have only 1 loop on your hook when inserting the hook into the back of the double crochet. Again, chain 1 and then insert your hook into the back of the double crochet. See, the front has 2 loops, the back has only 1 loop. Insert the hook, you have 1 loop, and then yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, the normal double crochet. Chain 1 and do the same technique till the end of the round. Again, reaching our chain 4, we're going to insert our hook into the 3rd chain to slip stitch and end the 2nd round of the body. Chain 4 to begin the 3rd round and do exactly the same as we were doing in the round before. Insert your hook into the back of the double crochet and make a double crochet. Now we're inserting the hook into the back and not under the stitch, because like usual, because it makes it more sturdy. So sometimes you can tell when you are making something that contains empty spaces like this, it will become larger and larger and will expand when you use it more and more, especially if you're putting something heavy inside, like a bottle full of water. So this makes it more sturdy, and it just assures that it's not going to stretch too much. To check if I have enough length to cover the full body of my water bottle. This really is just a personal preference. If you don't want it to cover the whole thing, that is also your choice. Now you might be able to tell it was actually quite difficult to get the water bottle inside, but this is exactly what we're aiming for, because this means the cover will hold onto the bottle very nicely, so it will not fall off or fall out at any time. I think I might still need 2 more rows to finish to cover the full length of my bottle, so I will do that and come back to you. This is the end of my 2nd round. I'm going to try on the bottle again. I think it is just perfect this time. Covers the whole thing and holds onto it really nicely. The base was also good. Now I'm going to count the rows. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I had 11 rows to cover the full body of my water bottle. Now you can keep on watching if you would like to make a handle for your cover. If you don't want a handle, then that was your finished result. To make the handle, we're going to chain 1 and then insert your hook into the same stitch that you slip stitched into at the end of the round. Make 1 single crochet and then make another single crochet in the stitch after that. Now chain 1 to move on to the next round, turn around and make a half double crochet into each of these 2 stitches. 1 half double crochet and the second half double crochet. Now chain 1 and turn again. Keep making double crochets, chain 1, turn, double crochets, chain 1, turn until you get the desired length for the handle. Now if you want your handle to be wider, you can start off with more single crochets at the base. I only did 2 because this is the width that I want, but you can add 3, 4 or how much ever you want. I think now I have enough rows to count the rows of double crochets. Count each section as 2 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because each 2 rows make something that resembles a section. I had 35 rows, and it's an odd number because we did make the first row single crochets and not half double crochets. Now to connect the handle onto the other side, make sure it's even. I'm gonna count 3 rows from the beginning of my last handle, or 4 rows, sorry, I'm gonna count 4 rows, and I'm going to insert my hook into the 5th row. I'm going to slip stitch and then insert my hook into the 2nd chain of my handle, and again insert my hook into the chain next to the chain I slip stitched into, and then again slip stitch. There are really many ways to connect the handle. You can do it however feels more comfortable to you, but this is the way I use. Now chain 1 and pull to secure our handle. Now we're going to cut our yarn and weave in the end. Just a small comment, you really don't want to make the handle too long because it will stretch when you fill the water bottle with water. It will become heavier and it will stretch the handle no matter how sturdy the yarn you're using is. So don't make it too long because it will become longer upon wearing or using. I will be using a darting needle to weave in my ends, but you can use anything, a hook, a normal needle if it works for you, if it's wide enough. The beginning of my crochet journey, I always used hooks. I did not have a big enough needle to weave in the ends, and the hook was more than enough for me to weave in the ends. So work with what you have. You don't always need to have all these fancy equipment to do the things you love. There really isn't a specific technique to weave in ends, not that I know of anyway, but try to use the stitches or choose the stitches that are thicker and seem more full so you can hide the thread in between them easily. So just keep weaving in until you feel that you've had enough. There is also no specific amount of stitches that you need to go through. I just like to keep doing it as much as possible so I make sure the thread is secure, especially if it's something that I'm going to be using a lot, like this water bottle holder. You can see how stretchy it is, and as simple as making it was not very hard. It really looks really nice, gives a nice look for the bottle, and also secures it from breaking. this is the finished product. I had so much fun making it and I love the result. I'm sure it's going to come in very handy, especially when I want to take the water bottle outside with me and I need it to be easier to carry. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope it helped you. I hope everything was clear enough. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will try to respond and make anything that you didn't understand clearer.